And now one giant commercial for the Sandals Resort. Hey there, hi there, ho there, Andrew here, reviewing, recapping, and reacting to episode 9 of The Bachelor, and we have only 3 ladies left. That is Punny Girl Lauren B, I Left My Boyfriend Caila, and JoJo the Unicorn, and this episode might just be Ben's favorite episode. I mean, hey, he gets a chance to have 3 fantasy suite dates with these ladies, so don't be jealous. The episode starts off with Ben saying how great Jamaica is, and I got news for you, Ben. When you don't live there in a 4 or 5 star resort, the perspective changes a little bit. And all 3 of these dates that Ben's going to have this week are one-on-one dates, and if he is feeling a little frisky, he then goes ahead and gives them the fantasy suite date card, which then means that Ben and the lady that he gives it to will have a night together with no cameras. So we won't know what exactly happens unless somebody goes ahead and posts something on Snapchat like the last Bachelorette did. Let's go to the first one-on-one date. Ben meets I Left My Boyfriend Caila, who is wearing jorts, and if you don't know what jorts are, they're basically jean shorts. So, nice outfit there, Caila. Either you're going to do some yard work or you got a swimsuit underneath it. The two go to the Martha Bray River and ride a raft that is made from sticks in a very relaxing stream pushed by a Jamaican gondolier. What do they talk about during this time? Nothing! Seriously, I have had more in-depth conversations with strangers on an elevator than what is happening right now. So after that relaxing little ride, they are introduced to a Jamaican jerk. No, not the gondolier. They get dropped off at a jerk house. And that might not be what you're thinking right now, because a jerk house is actually a food stand that sells chicken that has been jerked. Hey, I thought it was called joking, but what do I know? So they go ahead and they eat this jerk chicken, and I'm assuming they're drinking coconut water because they got straws inside coconuts, and they continue to have this awkward silence, uncomfortable conversation moment because Caila realizes things are a little real and Ben is dating 2 other women. Where was she during the rest of this show? And of course, all of this aloofness is making Ben feel insecure, and that makes me go, what a great couple. So let's go ahead and fast forward into nighttime, and now Ben and I Left My Boyfriend Caila have some evening wear, and they are trying to clear the awkwardness that was from earlier with some more conversation between the two, where Caila now drops the L-bomb, meaning love, not something else, and she tells Ben that she loves him. Ben goes ahead and responds by kissing her back. What happens then? We get a confessional shot of Caila saying, I can feel in his breath that he feels the same. I'm going to say that's probably the jerk chicken you smell. After the makeout session, Ben offers her a fantasy suite date card, which of course she accepts. They walk off into the water at the beach that they're next to and kiss as fireworks explode. Shouldn't that be happening after the fantasy suite, not before it? Don't worry, Ben, I hear it happens to lots of guys. The next shot of them is the day after, as Caila goes ahead and tells Ben that she loves him, and he walks off romantically as she waves to him from the balcony. Glad Ben finally got a chance to do what he's been wanting to do all this season long, and that's getting into Caila's pants. Check that one off the list. To the next one-on-one date. Lauren B is walking, if you want to call it that, towards Ben, and she might be walking that way because she's wearing jorts too. You see how high those things are? Is that like the standard for Jamaica? Ben and punny girl Lauren B go ahead and canoe to another spot where they find out that they're going to release sea turtles. And that means that they get to go and pick them up out of the sand, go and take them over to the water, wash them off, only to go ahead and pick them back up, take them over back to the sand so the turtles have to cross the sand to get back into the water. And that, to me, just seems counterproductive. We are then treated to a conversation between the two that kind of go like this. Why aren't you with somebody by now? I haven't found the right person yet. Oh, you're too good for me. Oh, you're the man of my dreams. The couple is then rewarded with a double rainbow as they kiss on the beach, and personally, I think the rainbows are there for the turtles, but I might be a little biased because if I was there, I would be naming each one of them after a Renaissance artist. Let's fast forward to dinner time and we sit down with Lauren B and Ben, where Ben goes ahead and asks more questions that makes me feel that he thinks he's still unlovable. Really, dude? I mean, you've already had one woman tell you that she loves you and you spent a fantasy suite with her, and now you're going to have the chance to do that 2 more times. Unlovable should be the last thing that this man feels. Ben gives Lauren B a fantasy suite date card, which of course looks like all the other fantasy suite date cards that has been going on through the 20 seasons that we've had. She accepts, and then they go into the suite where they have a little one-on-one conversation, and she says, "I am completely in love with you." Ben responds back with, "I've known I was in love with you for a while as well." Whoa! That is a no-no and goes against the Bachelor rules. He is not supposed to be saying that at this time. But this does make me think. He did not say that to Caila, so does Lauren B have a jump on Caila and JoJo at this time? We then see them wake up together as Ben goes to meet with JoJo for his third one-on-one date. You ever see someone at a mattress store going from one bed to another bed, trying out things before they buy it? That is the best analogy that I can use summing up what is happening in this episode. To the third one-on-one date. JoJo the Unicorn meets up with Ben, and I am firmly in belief that jorts is the ceremonial clothing here in Jamaica. Either that, or these three ladies are part of some divine yaya sisterhood of the traveling jorts. They are met with a helicopter, well that's different, and they fly off to some waterfalls, where they take off their clothes to reveal swimsuits, and they take a flying leap. After the dip in the water and a fun little swim, they have a conversation on the rocks. It sounds like a drink I should be ordering right now. And in this conversation, JoJo tells Ben that she loves him. How does he respond? He says, "JoJo, I love you too." What? He is not supposed to be saying this, so now he loves JoJo and Lauren B? Respectfully, hold the phone for one moment. That means that the first woman that he had a fantasy suite date with, he didn't love? Mr. Small Town, clean cut, all American, great guy, lovable and unlovable Ben? What a dirtbag! Now I know that just because you had a fantasy suite overnight doesn't mean that anything happened. Smart money is that it did. Fast forward past the shock expression from JoJo, we get a chance to see that Ben gives her a fantasy suite date card. 3 women in 1 week, and all you had to do, Ben, was deal with some drama for a month, make out with some beautiful women, go on amazing trips to exotic locales. Boy, it must be tough. We get to their fantasy suite, and then we see Ben and JoJo enjoying their own personal hot tub. Ben pops the champagne cork before the fantasy suite date is over, and maybe you should go and see a doctor about that, Ben. The next day, we see how cute JoJo and Ben are as they wake up together, which makes me vomit because nobody should be that chipper in the morning. Now, Ben leaves, and he has to come up with a decision on how he's going to break it to Caila. He tells the confessional that he is in love with 2 women, and one of them isn't Caila, so my question is, why did you sleep with her? Did you know that you didn't love her after you knocked boots? I know, just because they stayed in the fantasy overnight doesn't mean that anything happened. Now we get a chance to see Ben and all of his romantic brooding as he contemplates on how he's going to break the news to Caila. But wait! I left my boyfriend Caila is coming to see Ben for a surprise. She tells the confessional that even though she saw Ben first earlier this week, she had been thinking about him all week long, and I have to break the news to you, Caila. He hasn't been thinking about you. So after skipping around gleefully inside Ben's hotel room, she realizes he's outside. So she decides to go ahead and sneak up on him while he's sitting in a chair, looking out among the water, and Ben is shocked, to say the least. She goes in to kiss him, and he responds back with, "Hold on, I just need a second." They walk together hand in hand to another section, and they sit on some steps, where Ben tells her in a long and drawn-out way that he is in love with 2 other women. He doesn't say he's in love with someone else. He tells her he's in love with 2 other women. Now, I have to say this. I have given Caila a lot of guff over the season, but I could tell that she genuinely beamed when she looked at Ben. She really did love him, and she was just afraid to have the feelings that she had. That's something anyone can relate to. So Ben offers her to walk her back to the car, and she accepts. Personally, I would have said, nah, just stay there, I'm good. She gets into the car, and Ben begins to do that whole angst bachelor walk where you look down at the ground pretending to be in as much pain as the person you just dumped. But Caila then gets out of the car again. She needs some clarification here. She wants to know if he felt that way from the beginning of the week before the fantasy suite. Aha! That means I was right. Something did happen. He tells her that that wasn't the way at all. So basically what you're saying is you were convinced after the fantasy suite dates with the other women? Nope. He said I love you to those women before the fantasy suite date commenced. So like I said before, Ben just wanted to get into Caila's pants. He is not as sweet as some of the viewers think he is. Both Ben and Caila say their goodbyes, and they say that they'll miss each other. We see Caila drive off, and she might be the only bachelorette in history that I've seen Put on a seatbelt. Good on you, Caila. Safety first. And during the drive-off, she tells the camera that she still loves Ben. And I have to say, I've grown to like Caila more and more. I wouldn't mind seeing her be the next Bachelorette. I do think it is a shame that she feels the same way as her ex-boyfriend that she dumped before coming on the show. But somewhere in the world, there's a man laughing at a TV screen saying something about karma. Oh yeah, and we get a shot of Ben looking so sad that he slept with a woman that he didn't love and then put off dumping her a couple days later. Ben, you put the jerk in jerk chicken. Now for the most anticlimactic rose ceremony in history. Ben shows up and tells the ladies that his feelings just couldn't catch up with Caila, so he sent her home. I relish the thought. He then gives JoJo and Lauren B a rose. What I don't understand is this. Ben picks up the rose and looks at them like he's contemplating on who he's going to pick before he says their names. You've got 2 women and 2 roses. Get on with it. Now, I think this would be the perfect time to tell the ladies that he said, I love you to both of them, so they knew where they stood. But does he do that? No. He lets them both think that they have the one up on the other because he said, I love you to them. Stay classy, Ben. They end up with a champagne toast and they share a hug between the 3 of them. Lastly, we get a chance to see a teaser at the end of this episode where Ben apparently sends the wrong woman home and changes his mind. He tries to call her and see if she'll come back to him. My guess is that he sends both of them home because he can't decide between the 2 of them. And after they leave, he realizes that he misses one more than the other, and that's the person that he goes ahead and calls. But is the person that he calls JoJo, or is the person that he calls Lauren B? How about if he calls Caila? Probably not. Leave a comment below. Tell me what you think. If you liked the video, make sure you tap that like button and share with your friends so you can get them in on the discussion as well. Don't forget to subscribe so you get notified the moment I upload, and I will see you in the next video.